1, but that might be all he's able to get done.
Again, a 4-man save will be a pretty big deal for Vitality, but fact is, PHR still has the chance to make things a little bit more costly. The time isn't quite against him just yet, but he's not going to expect a hiding tank in the corner. It's normally quite a difficult thing to do, to hide a tank.
Yeah, I was going to say, no one expects
he did
a
very
hiding
well.
tank in the corner. It's like the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay. Maybe the French Inquisition. There you go.
Maybe.
Make it topical. But
yeah.
5-3. T's now with a buyback in. They've got a lot of utility behind it. No AWP for Spiro, but at the same time, I feel like Cash is definitely a map where on the T side, you kind of don't necessarily need it. I think you can go for much faster plays, more dynamic plays if you do sort of drop that AWP. And a lot of the time, the battles you're going to be taking versus the CT side, I don't think they work so well for an AWP unless you're sort of jumping into angles such as on the B side or boosting over mid. But again, you're sort of hoping there's nobody watching the angle over on the other side. Either way, they have managed to gain quite a bit of control in middle, as Alex has abandoned it, fallen back into Zed. The only other support is from Zaiwu, who's going to be actually smoked off on highway. So AGO methodically taking the control. The fact is, are they going to utilize it?
Will execute coming out on toward the A side as well. And essentially shocked out. That's a good one. Zaiwu might be able to prevent a lot of them from coming out, but Furlan still manages to take him down. RPK on the other side is still alive, but not for long as he does get taken down. Alex doing what he can from across the table, but unfortunately he's still blocked off too much between him and the T side. And unfortunately one of those things includes a bullet to the head. 2 versus 3. Apex and NBK. The OG NB duo. Going through, waiting to see whether they can find anyone. There's a man inside A main who could be making things a little bit more problematic for them. Over here, PHR on the side finds one. Apex is down. NBK, the clutch master himself, can he do it? There's practically Zipniks now, though things have taken a turn for the worse, and that turn will lead him to his death.
Yeah, and even after just 1 round loss, although the money for the majority of players is fine, Apex will still have to take the hit and a little bit of a lackluster purchase. 5-7, not the end of the world, and it's actually going to be MBK picking up the AWP. I think this may be more spawn-based than anything else. He did have a very good spawn for A main if he wanted to try and take the aggressive fight, but as of yet not going to. And well, spoke last round about sort of the troubles of being an aggressive AWPer. It's actually going to be Spiro managing to find that opening pick. Although I believe that may have been something to do with the boost, as it seems like he hadn't actually gone over the top yet.
Zaiwu looking to get aggressive. That might actually be the reason why NBK is handling the AWP. Now, they're going to be moving through and they've been caught out before. The question is, will they be expecting it this time around? If, you know what they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, Zaiwu. Zaiwu, though, god damn it, you've got yourself almost through. But fortunately for him, Apex does manage to finish Caper off as well. Otherwise, that would have been a bit of a tragedy right there.
The biggest problem is going to be the push towards this B site, though. Again, it's going to be RPK trying to hold it down. Molotov thrown out. Spots out Groovy. He's going to take a bit of damage, but you can see again, RPK just trying to stay alive in the flashbang. Absolutely perfect. He can still only manage 1, but he's allowed for the trade. As it's all left on to Spiro. The AWPer for the team, the one who has a couple in this round. I believe MBK just found him straight through the smoke, and Apex will do the same through the floor. He didn't even see his opponents in that battle, but hey-ho, sometimes life is not fair. And well, what else isn't fair for AGO is the amount of money they have left to try and purchase into this round.
Double up, though, that's where things do get interesting. If you do go... Well, they are going for a semi... For almost a force buy, I'd like to say Spiro is still keeping some money for the AWP, and a few of them do have some for utility. But, you know, it's nice to see that they've gone for something where you can be a little bit more fast-paced and aggressive if you want to do on towards the B side. There's 2 ops, you can overwhelm them. Always nice to see people trying to exploit that. Whether or not they realize that Team Vitality has chosen to maintain those 2 ops is yet to be seen. It should be a full execute on towards the B side as they're moving through. RPK from the side is flashed up and locked out. He's in checkers and he'll be taken down. Grubby's the one to find that and pick up the gun immediately after. Zaiwu, though, still stopping them all from coming in. 2 kills so far, looking for more, and god damn it, he's gonna get him. A grenade to go through. That's a bomb site. that you can't get a plant on without taking some substantial damage. NBK now with the AWP might want to pick out guns, but it seems like he himself is proficient. Why bother? Ferlin and Sparrow here to protect the bomb.
Yeah, this is a tough hold from them, only having a FAMAS alongside the CZ. The flashbang, though, a little bit off. Cyber will go down, but it doesn't matter in the end. A 7th round for Vitality, and a bomb plant helps a little bit for the AGO economy, but not anything that can warrant a force buy into the next round. The CTs will survive the bombardment, but even still, those faster pushes seem to be catching Vitality off quite a bit. A couple of Molotovs needing to be thrown to try and slow these pushes down, or maybe a smoke or two, because there's been a few times now we've just seen a quick push into A or B, and control has pretty much completely gone the other way.
Zai was doing so much, it's a little bit unfair, honestly. He managed to find 2 kills after RPK was out of position and gave the man advantage over early on. Then he manages to nade down the planter and take him down to half health as well. NBK came through with a nice little shot, don't get me wrong, but Zai Wu just took control of that bomb site. He wasn't even in the... Okay, nice start. Okay, fine. These things are going out well for them so far. 2 shots through the wall, and they're all in their favor. Alex now moving forward. NBK with 2 and Alex with 3 to finish that one off. They're tired of the Zai Wu show, but let's hope that they can put those numbers up against guns as well.
That's one of those wall bangs that you sort of just try for a bit of banter every once in a while. Just like, you know, I'll just try shooting the wall and, well, the spot perfect and actually catches someone down to half HP. Obviously, more of an eco round. That was a bomb plant attempt for AGO. And it's one of those like high-risk ones where you just all go barreling onto the site and pray that you can overwhelm the player. So not really much substance into that one. MBK,
hey, don't
very
you go
play.
messing with my matchmaking strats, okay? Don't go saying I don't have substance.
I bet you're a contact B sort of guy on Mirage. I bet that's
like
the call every round.
Contact. That sounds so much sexier than Rush B.
No, it's not rushing because you're waiting until someone sees them. That's the sort of classic matchmaking play. So, yeah, no, contact. That's the Hugo Byron special, basically. He'll say that every pissed around playing Mirage. Either way, enough about Hugo strats, because let's be honest, there isn't much substance to those. We're more looking at what the T's are going to be doing, and this double AWP setup going to be troublesome. Apex not a man that we see AWPing too often, but I think this is more a positional-based change as he is over towards the B side. Looking for those aggro peaks. Finally, they've managed to take down Zaiwu in middle, who has just been a menace so far. The fact is, though, even still, Groovy's gone down to 2 HP and Furlan's tagged to half, so it's not really the easiest of situations. MBK saves Alex, but the fact is there's still a trade back in as Alex goes pushing in towards that A main spot. And now the rotation again looks to swarm onto this B site. There's one man to defend it. It's Apex with the AWP, and I think he's just looking for a man on the cross, but there's plenty of utility. There should be a smoke going down to stop him having any vision at all.
Apex is on an AWP as well, and now he's going to be barreling through the smoke with a 5-7. Who needs an AWP when you've got a 5-7 to work with? That's what I always say. RPK still in a position where he can try and go for this retake, and they're going to need to. NBK, though, with just an AWP, they could honestly save at this point. But the problem is that with AGO's economy, AGO's economy being as low as it is, there is still a pretty... It's a high-risk, high-reward play to actually go for this right now. They're going to decide against it. Incendiary to move out. That should be enough to maybe net them 1 kill, but he doesn't get out of position. Instead, PHR takes down RPK and moves on to NBK as well. Finishes them both off. RPK with slow slide down to hell.
I don't know, a great couple of exit kills for PHR. And important ones of that, because as you mentioned, like having the strong economy towards the end of this map, or end of the half at least, for AGO is going to be important. And him making sure they don't manage to finish off any extra frags. And it even makes the buy this round a little bit more interesting. Now, obviously, we've seen how Zaiwu's been playing. It's been very aggro into middle, looking to try and take control. So an MP9, okay, it is a detriment, but not as much as you might think just based on angles. The problem is he is becoming quite predictable. We've seen the T's in the last round at least know that he was going to be around that mid spot and finish him off without too much trouble. And on the other side of the map, they've gambled heavily over onto B early on, but MBK just looking to try and hold down the fort as the T's do gather into this site once again. Lots of utility being expended, and they're going to be achieved early on from the T side. MBK will be there to find the first, and well, they're working wonderfully. The fact is, though, the T's trade 2 back, And now they still have the chance. The smoke's still up to get them towards the site. They're actually going to throw down another one just to make sure that the cross will be made comfortably, and Spiro finishes off Alex before he can do anything else. However, the interesting point here, Zaiwo on the flank.
Zaiwo was always the interesting point, and well, like you said, this time, no different. He's moving through, but will he spot the player on cut? Question. Yes, he does. That's a first, but the second takes him down, leaves RPK alone. And can the War Machine himself move through is a question that we'll have answered very soon. PHR wants to take that peek. He knows his teammate is very low, so RPK could find an easier duel on the side. RPK moves through, but PHR is ready, and he has been stepping up. 3 kills this round, the same in the previous one. He's got 18 kills so far, the only one going neck to neck with Zaiwo so far. I mean, look at the scoreboard. It's basically the same story on both times. We've got one player on 18, and everyone after that just a sharp drop down.
Yeah, we've had a lot of sort of closer rounds. Obviously, this one, we're going to see a pause called in, and, well, no real questions whether or not there's going to be a purchase, as it is the final round of this half. But, yeah, it definitely has been a sort of interesting match. Like, a lot of these rounds, we talk about sort of hero plays coming out from Vitality, but the fact is, the T's managed to get themselves quite a few rounds towards that beginning part, and there has been a lot of battles over the last few to sort of reduce any major economy growth for either side, and well, that's definitely been shown by Vitality's lack of a purchase here. At the same time, we still know that these players can step up when needed. Zaiwo has been good so far, but the question is, can they increase their lead that a little bit, give them a bit more of a buffer when it comes to the next pistol, or is it going to be as close as it can be?
Nice flashes early on to prevent Apex from actually pushing through. I'm a bit surprised to see those flashes land where they did, but you know what, whatever works. Zaiwo definitely works. He's been boosted up, came from behind, but Caper is fast enough to turn around and take down that MP9. NBK once again from Forklift. He found some success despite being flashed out. Let's see if he can do it with an inferior gun. It seems like the answer is no. Furlan takes him down. RPK still now playing from the NBK spot. Cute little homage to his teammate, but let's see whether he can get something done, as Furlan will be doing aggressively, and Furlan is so good this round. 3 kills so far, no one is stopping him. Well, Alex sure as hell won't be. 1 versus 4. There he goes. LDLC player finds 1, looking for 2, could have even managed it. It was a beautiful spray down, but it doesn't work, and it will be 7-8 to AGO.
Well, at least getting themselves the final round, bringing things back a little bit. I do think it's going to be a bit more difficult, though, when it comes into that CT side for AGO. Obviously, individually, Zaiwo playing very well. Can he transfer over onto the T side, I think, is going to be the big thing, but a lot of the time this man can, and I'm hoping we see a bit more of a step up from Apex. I think he's going to be one of the bigger factors here. Obviously, known for his sort of entry fragging, but one of the best in the world at a point in time. And I think if he's on his game, I don't think there's anything that AGO will be able to do to stop them.
Honestly, the thing is, for me, in the past few rounds, AGO managed to take down Zaiwo before he could get a multi. And repeatedly, when we're seeing rounds get this close and Zaiwo getting as many clutches as he did, the question is, has Zaiwo started to cool down at the worst possible time? Because you need him early on into the next half. AGO will be looking to accrue that nice little lead off of the pistol round. So let's see what kind of games Zaiwo is bringing. I know he's everyone's boy these days, but I always have some questions. So far, he's been answering them pretty effectively. Let's hope that this time is no different.
I imagine we will be getting into things fairly shortly. We've got a player missing at the moment, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, I think this is definitely a closer game than I was expecting, especially I believe AGO already played today versus Ents. Wasn't like as one-sided as it potentially could be, but it definitely didn't look like Ents were really in any trouble. They had a very dominant first half of the game, and I think that's going to be the problem with this sort of the AGO that we're seeing at the moment. Is like, obviously they're still sort of reeling from like player losses and people going missing, like joining Virtus Pro. Like, obviously money talks, we've learned that. Well, which is fair enough, to be honest. I think if anybody offered me a much bigger salary to do the same job, I'd probably be happy to take it. But it does mean that this AGO roster has taken a lot of hits over time, and their sort of stint in Pro League coming to an end recently. Well, that's why we're here. Well, that's why they're here. Yeah, it is the MDL looking to try and qualify once again. Either way, we are going to be going into our pistol round MBK with the small amount of utility that they have. Bomb actually going to be heading its way in towards B. Well, the rest of the team somewhat probing on the rest of the map, but it looks like they may just be waiting to see if there's any sort of aggression from this CT side. And there is. Unfortunately, they got the side of the map wrong.
NBK, though, he's looking to get dirty over here. And, well, ZywOo's even dirtier. Finds one.
Don't like that,
as NBK did back off with barely any HP. Yep, you definitely do. I mean, just that clean headshot straight to start things off. NBK still, at the very least, does manage to save his utility. And that's important as they're going to be deciding which side to actually push onto. They're hoping that AGO makes some mistakes and starts to push forward so that they can be the flank from Alex coming through from Squeaky. Now, he doesn't realize it so far, but Caper is very aggressively pushed forward. So if there is a duel, if ZywOo starts to engage, then Alex is in a perfect position to start backstabbing a few of these CTs. Vitality definitely looking like they want to go over towards the A site. The single smoke generally does indicate that as well. And here goes Caper, here goes Alex. Alex has found one, closes the door immediately after. It's knock knock, who's there, bye bye.
And they're actually going to boost over mid as well, but they still got to be a little bit careful. RPK actually just holding for any sort of flanks. There's only actually one man, Furlan, looking to defend this site. Now, he ended the last half successfully, but needs to do one better here. He's got the rotation at least of Spiro in to help him, but Furlan not able to connect the initial shots as they do look to push into the site. They've spotted RPK in mid, who looks to back around, but now it is all onto Furlan, and he's going to be completely overwhelmed by Apex and Alex, leaving it all onto PHR, and well, it looks like they've been played completely by Vitality. I have to say, that sort of early pick that came in, it was just painful, because I understand the sort of mindset of Groovy. He knows he's done a lot of damage, he knows that MBK's low, but he doesn't know what's around that corner. And in my eyes, if you're a CT player and you're pushing through towards T-Spawn, you've gone too far, especially that early in the round, especially at a pistol. So high risk wasn't really worth it, and obviously then it seemed like Team Vitality just built off of that early pick and managed to pull apart the remaining players. So good work to them. PHR just going to try and save his cap off.
Honestly, I think you're being too kind right now. Just that one push moving forward. The problem with that is what we saw is that Alex can get into such a good position with Squeaky because they know that there's so much aggression coming out from CTs that now there's no longer going to be that one player at Forklift who can actually keep peeking at Squeaky. So Caper is forced to push forward just in case Vitality decide to recover from that one kill that they've gotten, and just in case they say, you know what, let's quickly push through and overwhelm them while they're still in a main. So Caper has to push forward and give his teammate backup. Because of that, Alex now is in that great position where he can behead anyone who's coming through, and that one kill that you've basically lost sets you up for the perfect pincer attack right there and then as a CT's side. Very problematic.
Well, we are going to see the save actually pulled in here. Now, a lot of teams you see force buy into the second round still, just because of the obvious reason of being able to get that much better fourth round buy, but AGO clearly feeling happy with those M4s and AUGs, not too fussed about all that extra utility. And we'll see if it works out for them. Obviously do have some strong individuals. They will still be able to pull in some smokes. The interesting thing will be, can they actually do any damage in this round? So far, not so good. ZywOo picks one off and makes an extra $600 for his team. At the same time, of course, Vitality are going to want to keep the remaining players standing. It's going into the next round. They want to make sure that they do have bolstered cash ready for this purchase. I think ZywOo must have heard the hits onto Groovy, or at least you'd think he would. Doesn't seem like it. And actually, Groovy's managed to get an AK. If he could escape, that'd be magnificent. But, well, the smoke fades just as I mentioned it. And Vitality, they get their 10.
Furlan going for those picks with the AK without armor is always interesting to see. It's a bit of a toss-up in what you want to go for, if you want to save the AK moving forward, or if you just want to try and get a bit more damage done so that the Vitality buy is weaker as well. For me, I'm personally a little bit more conservative. I like to see that AK save forward, but even right now, this is the problem. Your utility is so low that you are really relying on a stack to pay off those lines. And you're really relying that, okay, even if we end up losing this round, we're going to save 3 players, and then off the back of that, we're going to try and buy in the next one. Over here, Caper has to do a lot on the forklift area. If he can get aggressive early in, then they've got themselves a chance if he can find himself a pick-off. But it's going to be hard as Vitality isn't looking to really dip their feet too much into this pool. NBK setting up for that A take. Ferlin. That's an interesting smoke to move forward towards A main. That one before, and well, he's going to be blocked out. There's Molotovs all over. Quad and Alex will take down Caper to start things off, but Ferlin's here to pick it up. Only for a little while, though, and he's only able to get one head up. Grubby, through the smoke, does manage to take down 2. That makes things a little bit more doable, especially when Sparrow comes through and leaves Zywoo alone. 1 versus 3. What's Zywoo going to do? Not that much HP. Needs those clean headshots. Needs that smoke to end up working out for him. Using it on forklift, interestingly enough. He just wants that 1 headshot angle, and he's going to work it every single time.
Oh.
1, 1, 1, and he's got 3.
God.
Zywoo, you just can't leave him alone in the round.
Don't solo peek him though. Like, I get that in that situation it was only slightly delayed, but just that split second gives him enough to find those kills. And well, this is why he's tainted to be the future best player in the world. Like, those are difficult duels to take, especially with such low HP, and he made it look easy. 11-7. He's bailed them out once again. 25 kills already for him, and they need 5 more rounds to get the victory. So a 30 bomb almost definitely on the cards. At the same time, I will say Alex has definitely looked like he stepped up going into this T side. Currently 16-12 and getting some Integra entries in that round as well. But realistically, there's only one man that anybody's going to be talking about at the end of this map. That's unless there's some crazy comeback from AGO. Already though, RPK kicks things off with a fairly simplistic kill onto just pistol players. Still a couple over towards the other side, but well, the SG King of MBK will get himself a double. And the remaining 2 players nowhere near the action. You can already see Alex is probably going to want to go hunting to try and find an extra couple of kills with that Mech 10 and finally build some money, because that's been something that has been a real struggle. Nice shot onto Spiro. Well, if they can get this one flawlessly, it would be a nice little addition to their economy, although timing almost gets the better of the Brit. Not going to happen.
You always have to wonder what it's like for these veterans who really... I mean, they were there when Kenny S was just kind of getting into form, and Kenny S was kind of exploding on the scene, and everyone's like, okay, who's this kid? He's amazing. And now you get to see it again from your own scene. I mean, you really have to ask, how does that even feel? Now, of course, we don't know how far Zai was going to go, and let's not jump to any conclusions, but he's looking like he's going to make one hell of a player. Right now, though, he's looking dead, as Grubby does manage to take him down while I was singing, while I was waxing lyrical, so that's fantastic.
A mid-control game by Apex. Seems like Grooby's clearly aware of the possibility. Going for some jump peaks, though, and if he's not careful, Apex could just swing around that corner and pop him right between the eyes. Fact is, though, it's looking like he may get away with it. Oh. There we go. That's the timing. Alex opens that door just to take the vision away. That's fantastic.
That's very nicely done. Great communication between the defensemen, at the very least. Apex looking for more, though. He's not done. They might be expecting him, but they need to be careful. Apex, though, will be taken down. PHR catches him in a moment of negligence. Some karma being not very nice. RPK is still hunting. PHR's on the other side. If RPK swings out, he might be able to catch him. Saw the gun barrel. He sees it again, and now he comes through. The advantage of guns working out for him. He doesn't get that insta headshot, but apparently that doesn't matter too much. There's one man on the side, and that's Sparrow. He's got the AWP, though.
Can he get it?
It's 3 versus...
No, it's over. He can't get the bomb.
Where's the bomb?
It's in vent. So the second that RPK died, that round was over, because they would have had to boost into the vent, and Alex realizes it, jumping up to try and get it, but yeah, no way he can win that round. A little bit unfortunate of the positioning, and yeah, that's going to be AGO with their 8th.
And with the double AWP as well to work with, Furlan and Sparrow, both of them having one apiece, and that can be working wonders on Cash. Now, I'm a little bit surprised to see that we're not seeing the 3 players down towards mid, 1 up on each side, the very straightforward default that we've seen from a lot of CT sides. Instead, they're going for a boost, but this might be countered out by early plays from Alex. The question is, how aggressive does he want to be, especially now that Furlan has been brought down? They must have heard that bullet hitting. Furlan Oh no, barely missing the shot over there. Apex has got to be careful, but Furlan will get taken down from the side. Not before he gets one though.
Yeah, important trade back. I think Alex has been a bit of a menace over and towards the squeaky door, so him being cleared out is an important moment for the CT side. And Caper boosted up. Now, doing this so sort of late into the round is something that could quite easily catch off his opponents. We'll see if Zywo actually checks as he goes peeking in. Now, he did just see a pixel of the leg, and he has spotted it, even catches a little bit, and MBK will be there to steal that frag away. 40 seconds left on the clock, and they've managed to clear the A site out. The rotation will be coming in from Groovy, but he's a little bit in two minds of where he should be going. Can he catch anyone on the cross? The answer to that is no. And Zywo's going to get a nice open plant ready for his teammate RPK. Actually, they're not utilizing it. They've not gone in towards A main. And that may be the right decision, as there is actually a man coming in on the flank. PHR yet to have much impact so far, and well, not going to have the same in the second half. So we're going to be left on to Groovy and wow.
Awareness. I mean, just as PHR is pushing forward, Zywood turns around, scopes in towards A main, takes him down, smoothly repositions himself to walk over to Squeaky so he has a better angle from the off highway, so he doesn't have to peek up from quad. And the second that CT reveals himself to peek into quad, Zywood's got him down to rights. That is picture perfect.
He's looking to pick up the pace already into A main. Caper's there with the Deeg. Zywo on the other side, and well, he's going to be overwhelmed. Alex just closed him out through the door. Apex finds Furlan, and you almost have to wonder if it's worth just trying to save some extra pistols, something into the next round. Even still, though, Groovy has got a nice low SG. I feel like he has no choice but to save. Other side of the map, no kit, no real hope. The remaining players can at least try and do a bit of damage, maybe steal another weapon. Apex low, tries to run away. Can't do that. And Spiro spamming, but well, now you can just see the T's. I was going to say trying to just save, but Alex is feeling confident at the moment. He will be pushing forward, gets himself to a 20-second kill as well, playing very well just behind Zywo. And we sort of spoke about it earlier on, where we saw two players far and above everybody else in the server. One of them, of course, being PHR in the first half, who's not had a particularly good second half. And I think you can definitely tell the difference. But the fact is now also you got Zywo still going strong alongside Alex as well. So a pretty scary prospect, AGO. Somewhat looking out of this. And if you look at the finances, that seems to be the case. Looks like they're going to have to take it from 15.
And that's a really exciting prospect, though, when you consider moving forward. If Alex is able to step up and be that second star on the terrorist side, because so far in Cash, at least, you phrased it perfect. He's been a menace over towards Squeaky. He's been brilliant. So if he can put up those kind of numbers moving forward, I mean, that could be some interesting things in the major.
Well,
they did make the major, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I was just...
Caper's got himself 3 kills. Now, he only had a USP going into this round. He's now got an AK. He's picked up a Deagle as well. This man's looking to try and make a hero play of his own. The problem is, I was going to say, RPK's looking to get on towards that B side, but he's failed. It's left onto MBK. Now, neither of these players have armor. A Molotov thrown in, but no kit. MBK's got to be careful. A lot of this is going to come down to timing. He's looking to push right in. He's not going to check the angle. Caper with a magnificent round. 4 kills, 2 with the USP, 1 with the Deagle, and 1 with the AK he saved into the next. That is absolutely magnificent. And Furlan's also managed to find himself an SG along the way. So the T's probably stunned a little bit after that one. And although you can see the sting a little bit, they are going to invest into this one. Now, it's definitely not the best of buys, not even close to the best buy we've seen them have so far in this half. We're going to have RPK and our man Alex with the weaponry. Zywo on an SMG, which he could have actually bought up an AK if he really wanted to, but I'm guessing he's trying to save a little bit of extra cash if he does want an ult going forward. However, RPK has already managed to open it. There's only 1 defender left.
PHR looking for a few. Alex, though, very quickly takes him down, and AGO, they're suffering because of Sparrow's aggression early on. Vitality, in the meanwhile, just push through that smoke, take down that one man on the B side, and suddenly AGO is saying maybe it's time to slow down. maybe, let's say, save them for next round. And Vitality, I mean, seems like they don't need the best of buys. Seems like all they need is some misplaced aggression to punish.
Yeah, that's one of those rounds that a lot of the time it can't be helped. I feel like when you just get rushed like that, a lot of the time you have to sort of see it coming if you're AGO, but realistically this is the worst sort of case scenario. Okay, they do at least have some weaponry saved, although you can see the T's, even with the sort of limited money they have, they want to hunt, they want to remove extra weaponry because they don't want to allow a buy. But actually, no, even with just the extra save weaponry, that'll be enough for AGO to go for a full buy into this next round, even with an AWP, which Furlan has kindly produced for Spiro. So, yeah, at least they've got a buy in this round. But the fact is, with 6 map points up against them, Vitality ready and waiting to get themselves what I believe is their first win on the board. I think it's also their first game, so, yeah.
100% record, possibly. NBK is looking to move forward. Caper up top on catwalk. Has to be careful. He knows where Alex has been time and time again, so he's more careful this time around. But the flashbang, well, it's going to be scaring him off. Sparrow boosting himself up onto the red container. Vitality's going to play this slow, but Sparrow, this is not an angle you normally check. Zaiwu, he has got himself an AWP though, and he is very quick with those flicks if he wants to go for it. Caper starting off strong, good damage. Maybe follow up. Alex will take him down, but Alex himself is taken down as well. It's really good. Zaiwu trying to get onto the side. Sparrow's over here with the AWP. Close range does find Alex. Zaiwu now left alone versus 3, and we've seen them do this before. AWP at the ready, taking the peek out wide. Go! No! Almost had the shot right there. Furlan. Cool, calm, and collected.
Finally managed to rectify one of those rounds, not allow him space to get back into it. T's, their money again is a bit questionable, and I like the fact that they're not going to overly invest into this one. They've done great work with the pistols so far, and they can get a full buy going into the next, so no real need to overface this situation. It is 15 to 10. They have a 5-round buffer. The interesting thing will be is, can they reduce the buy that's going to be coming in for AGO in the next round? Can they find a kill or two and make it so the weapons have to be dropped? Maybe a piece of utility might be missing for the next round. It's all going to be impactful for Team Vitality, and while on the other side of things, AGO up against these pistols, they want to keep it clean as possible. Not only for the financial gains, but also build a bit of confidence. Try and basically get into your heads, we are going to make it back into this game. Oh, no! Oh, never mind.
Getting into your heads. Well, at least they're able to reclaim it, but I'm just saying. That's a great way to get into someone's head. Oh, dear. Never mind, Apex is still here. He's still alive. He doesn't have the bomb, but he does have an M4 to work with. 2 kills. He's actually in a decent position as well, because there's 2 places he can come from, so Squeaky allows him a little bit more access. He's moving through, and that's a great way to start things off in a 1 versus 2. He's got himself 3 kills so far. Vitality, they're not done yet, and Sparrow, well, he's picked himself up an AUG. He knows that he can't afford to have an AWP in that duel, but Apex, he's very low, 30 HP left, needs to go into the side plant quickly. There's just about the same amount of seconds as well on the clock. Is he thinking of maybe trying to make a run for the A side? That can't be it. He's just clearing angles. That's definitely for sure. Just making sure there's no one here. Sparrow, though, he's sold for A. Oh, no. Sparrow's giving Apex a great chance to get himself into a perfect position. 10 seconds on the clock. Sparrow, he's making his way over, and he'll realize way too late. Apex. Oh, Sparrow still doesn't know. He's now starting to run, and that's a few seconds lost. That might be a few seconds too many. Apex now moving through. He's scared of the vents, but instead he might just end up waiting at the back of checkers. That way he can hear him coming from either side. But instead, Apex holding a hairline angle. Sparrow comes through. Apex will see him. Apex has seen him, and now Apex will be coming in on the side. He sees the man, and now he just has to play the bomb. There's a flashbang, there's a grenade, and Sparrow, well, he's got the utility he needs.
Yeah, a crucial HE, but it's one of those positions where all you really have to talk about is how fantastically well played that was from Apex. So, okay, he doesn't get the round win, but he does a hell of a lot of damage over to the other side. There's probably going to be some reductions in purchases, maybe a nade or two missing, and that's going to be hugely impactful. That was a round they never should have had a chance to win, and he almost makes it work. So the only question I have is, should he have kept going with the Deeg? Because that could have been utterly fantastic. Either way, 15-11. We are going to have ourselves the T's looking to try and close this here and now.
They've definitely got themselves some extra confidence to work with, to say the least. Caper. The M4 is seeming heavy in his hands as he's got a big burden to lift. It seems like they're going over towards that B side potentially. Some damage done. Grubby finds one. NBK is quick to trade though, an RPK, well, he's been mollied off and he will be forced into a corner. Can they take him down and punish him is the question though, and it seems like PHR is too low to risk it. RPK moving through. Cleared out checkers. This could be the call to take that B-side hit.
PHR's position, though, is an interesting one, but he'll be caught out. And again, it's going to be left all on to Spiro on the site. The rotation, it's actually going to be quite a long one coming out from Caper all the way back through the spawn. The only thing will be is how long the T's take to execute. And they've moved in very quickly indeed. Zywoo's executed his opposing Orpra, and I think this is the beginning of the end. Caper, he's been a hero in rounds gone past, but it's not going to happen this time. In the end, a fairly dominant T side coming out from Vitality, and they do get themselves their first win, as you said earlier. 100% win rate so far, but obviously a long, long way to go in MDL.
I mean, you know, nothing else much to add. Vitality is looking fantastic, and that's a great run of form to start things off. Remember, they're not done yet, and neither are we, because we're going to be seeing Vitality versus Virtus Pro up next. Stay tuned.
They want to
Don't go anywhere. Let's see. Let's see how it ends up going. You know what? I'm not gonna indulge too much right now. We'll do that off camera. We'll be back very soon. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do. And it hurts as I bleed for you, cry for you.
like it was built to break off the handle. How'd we get to this place? We're leaving everything behind for new and exciting feelings, but I won't leave you. Will everything we know be lost and changed for something new? Only time will tell, but I'll be holding you. I'll be holding you. I'll be holding you. I'll be holding you. I'll be holding you.
Standing on the edge of a cliff, realize there must be more to life than this. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Just grab my hand from heaven's end with me tonight. Trying to find our place in this world. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Keep the secrets there, hide them everywhere. Just you and like a broken soul in a wonderland without angels. That is how I feel when the mirror shows me a stranger. Yeah. And I know they're just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are still meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete when you ain't by my side, when you don't wake up next to me. Yeah, I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete. Yeah, I'm incomplete. Hey, 'cause I'm incomplete. I need you here tonight to cover up these empty sheets. 'Cause I'm incomplete.
We've got some future top 5 players on the server potentially, and we've got some past top 5 players. Major legends, major champions, and, well, pretty much newbies to the scene come together as we have Virtus Pro versus Vitality up next. Tom, what
And
have
a
you got
Brit.
in your bones about this? And
There's a Brit.
Had to rub that one in, didn't you? It's
Yeah.
like, you take what small victories you can.
Yeah. God save the Queen.
God
Alex
save
had
the
a really, really good game in the last one as well. It was him, obviously Zywa, but that's expected. Like at this point, like nobody came into the game going, "Oh, Zywa's got 29 kills. What a surprise!" Like it's not one of those things at all. So, you know, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to this new Virtus Pro as well. Like, although yeah, there's a couple of members from the old team. I think bringing in a little bit of extra AGO magic into this team is going to be good. And yeah, I'm happy to see Snacks and Bialy back, because I think I was sort of talking to you beforehand saying that the only way there was going to be a sort of new Virtus Pro, a way that Virtus Pro would rise is, well, it had to start from the beginning. The players that were sort of there for a long time would eventually have to leave, although, yeah, it's very sad. We miss Pasha, we miss Neo, we miss Taz, of course, but he left a little bit sooner. it's one of those situations where you look at this team now and you say, okay, I can see a lot of talent. Hopefully as well, there's a lot of drive, because these aren't players that have been like winning tournaments all the time. Okay, sure, Snacks and Bialy have had their fair share of victories, but you look down the list, Mihu's always been tainted as one of the sort of best up-and-coming players in Poland, but never really had the sort of victories or silverware to go behind it. You look at Snatchy, pulled in from AGO, a fantastic AWPer, someone who could definitely rise up the ranks. And again, you sort of talk about the idea that he's not really had any sort of big victories behind him. So I think this team has a definite good mix of like experience, like the calmness when it comes to like those big games, but also has like the sort of drive, the want, the need to win, which I just think that was what the old team was lacking. Like they won pretty much everything, and once you get to that point, there's obviously going to be a moment where you go, don't know what to do now. I've already got my Mercedes. What else do I need?
That really was a bit of a turning point, wasn't it? What tournament was that where they promised Taz a Mercedes?
I don't remember which event.
Remember. It was something like that. It was a bit of a controversial statement when the CEO, those of you who don't know, the CEO basically said to Taz that, hey, if you win the tournament, I'm going to give you a Mercedes, which was obviously not really the best reception on all sides.
I think Taz deserved it. I love Taz.
I mean,
give him a Lambo, give him whatever you want. Love Taz.
I need to get to be better friends with you, mate.
I'm not giving him one. Someone should. Either way, quick split in Apex. He's caught in the murder hole, but he survives a little bit longer. Snatchy managing to get that opener, but quickly traded out by MBK. Mihu has got very far into the site, and MBK is not ready for that. But still, the trades come back with Zaiwu again in pistol rounds, picking up frags. The fact is, though, it's going to be down to the retake, and by the looks of it, this time they don't have a kit. However, with a quick kill from Alex, maybe they won't need one. The tag's coming back in. Zaiwu spins around. And from behind, Tao's like, I've got this element of surprise, but Zaiwu doesn't give him a second's thought.
Zaiwu does not give a lot of things. It's not just a second's thought enough. Like those of you smart enough. Well, not really smart enough, but I'll let you guys figure it out. Virtus Pro.
Were you going to say rat sauce? I think that's something to give a rat sauce. That's definitely what you were thinking, wasn't it?
I think that's probably like one of the most quintessentially British things I've heard you say.
No, that's definitely what
whenever
you're
someone
say.
says ours instead of, us, it's just like, well, yeah, no, well, anyway. Vitality. You completely derailed my thought. You know what? I'm thinking about rats and their posteriors. Now Bialy, Zaiwu. He's got himself an ISO shooting gallery. Finds two, but Snacks finally glocking him out. And will be able to pick up an AK-47 for his troubles. Which, unfortunately, he doesn't have the armor to go with.
Slick.
Alex finishes him off. It was indeed quite nice.
I like it. Gets one with the nade and gets one with the rifle. Of course, even still, this is one of those rounds where you see VP invest a little bit extra into the AK on Bialy so that he can try and do some damage, and then the rest of the team combine to the next round anyway. So definitely not a bad position for them to be in. They're going to have plenty of weaponry. Snacks, I believe he was the one to actually drop the rifle in the last round, so he's going to be on a Mac 10. But to be honest, Snacks has always been one of those players who can use pretty much any weapon you give him. Shotguns, SMGs, maybe even a rifle or two every once in a while. But yeah, this man has always been fantastic with the SMG, so I'm not worried. And especially with the strategy they're pulling in, fast pushing towards this B site. The Mac 10 is normally pretty good, but he has got stuck trying to get through the window. So it's taking him a little bit longer.
RPK from bench. He's the main man to try and hold down this site. Snacks will be revealing himself. And RPK, it's ancient man. Well, it's ancient versus ancient. One of them does go down. Apex, though, comes out on top with 3. Mihu, Snatchy, and Wow. All of them on the receiving end of this AK-47. Apex looking for 4. But it's going to be Bialy. Maybe just thinking of backing off, saving this AK, but Apex will not let that happen. Bialy reveals himself, and Bialy will be taken out as well.
Nice few rounds coming in from Vitality. Fairly clean ones at that. Not many deaths over on their side at the moment. And for the T's, okay, they have the loss bonus really built up behind them. So not anything too much to worry about. They have a purchase going into the next round with AWP, whatever you like. You can see Snatchy already saving extra money for that. This round more so hoping to do a little bit of extra damage, because you don't want the CTs going into this with a flawless round and really bulking up their cash this early on in Mirage. Especially one of those maps where a lot of the time you'll see double AWPs. You've already seen on cash itself Vitality willing to sort of pick that up, even on Apex and MBK rather than ZywOo, which was definitely interesting. Surprising. But it worked, to be fair to them. Their CT side, at least when they had the double AWPs, was strong. But for now, as said, some smokes, maybe going to see a little bit of a execution again. We saw these sort of double smokes falling into sort of section off short. But by the looks of things, that may be a little bit more of a ruse, as the bomb still sits in top mid. Now, obviously, they could try and push short, but that is a huge risk to try and take when the bomb is currently in the hands. But Mihu, he's actually managed to find a pick, and things are getting a little bit more interesting. ZywOo playing around the smoke. The T's, even with limited weaponry, limited utility, they have managed to gain mid control.
Very interesting to see over there. Alex actually had a chance to block off one of the smokes coming over towards the McDonald's, but he decided against it, which I'm not quite sure what I think about that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much in the consequence of the round. Bialy gets an AK-47 handed over to him, and the pressure is now all on RPK, who's sitting comfortably on the balcony. The question is, can he realize where they are? Finds one, looking for more. 15 seconds on the clock, and well, Virtus Pro, this smoke is going to be holding them off for long enough. RPK will not care, and RPK, well, he's seen a knee, and that knee will take a knee, as Bialy will be left alone yet again to be taken down by Alex.
Not completely clean, but clean enough. Vitality, 3 players surviving. But now we get the proper attempt from Virtus Pro. Snatchy on that AWP, he's always going to be a man to watch. I think when we saw them in, even with the old roster of VP and in AGO, he was a man that could quite often drop a 30 bomb over on the server. Definitely one of the sort of hard carries in this team at the moment. So definitely interested to see what he's going to be able to do in this round. And we'll be heading over on towards that B site. But as of right now, no one really taking the peek. Oh, RPK playing with fire a little bit, but isn't going to give him a second chance to the game of whack-a-mole. In fact, whack-a-tank doesn't sound anywhere near as effective.
Whack-a-tank sounds like a terrible idea, is what it sounds like.
Depends, if you're Iron Man.
No, I'm sorry, it's still... No. Okay. One of those things is real, and the other one is CGI. And I've seen RPK, so you know what? Mihu and Snatchy, the newcomers, making their way down mid. The bomb's actually positioned for A site, and they've got quite a bit of utility in terms of Molotovs, but a little bit less in terms of, well, anything else. Ooh. So let's see how that ends up working for them. Apex gets taken down through the plywood, and here they go. NBK with a nice flashbang might be preventing them from pursuing a little bit too early in. ZywOo drops down. NBK finds one. Bialy to take a fall. ZywOo's moving forward. Snacks as well is taken down, but Snatchy's right behind him, and he's got 2. NBK as well will be his next victim. Wow. Who watches the man on CT, and Alex will be the next casualty. RPK, the tank. He's looking to do some whacking himself, and let's just say that sounds a bit more effective than the other way around. Flashbang and incendiary, and his pocket snatches close, but unfortunately for RPK, he isn't able to take advantage of that close angle.
Yeah, a lot of crucial kills that round from Snatchy with the AWP. Mentioned it at the beginning, he's a man who can definitely take over rounds for his team, and an impactful one at that. Those 2 kills towards the connector pretty much turn the round on its head. The fact is, though, still going to be a purchase coming in. Not a particularly good one for the CT side. Well, you look at 3 of the 5 players, it's not so bad. Even Alex, to an extent, you can talk about still a lot of utility. But the tank left, just a pistol. A lot less to try and achieve. It's going to be over towards B once again, playing the closer range angle. In fact, both players on that side of the map currently left with limited weaponry, and this looks like almost a strategy from Vitality. Keep all the weaponry on one side of the map. If it goes wrong, don't really need to rotate. Never mind. RPK looking to try and do it all alone. Alex now going to get into that sort of close range position as well. They don't know he's here. He gets one, looks for a little bit more as he's still lurking around this angle, and he's given lots of time for the rotation to come in. Mihu isn't even looking in the right direction. Alex looking to do it all on his own. Again, huge impact from the Brit. And leaves it now onto his rotating teammates, but the fact is they're ready and waiting. MBK picks off one, and it's left all onto Bialy. Absolutely nothing to be had. And to be honest, like holding that site with a P250 and a UMP versus a 4x from Virtus Pro, you'd have to give props over to RPK and Alex.
This is a little bit like when in Inferno on the CT side or the B side, you put two people inside Emo, and one person's just, you know, kind of hiding away further back, and you're saying, you know what, if they kill one person, they're never going to expect the second one. That's basically what happened over there. Alex, not expected whatsoever with the UMP, they're not checking his angle, he finds one kill, and he manages to rotate out because they think he's in the same position. That's the problem with not having Molotovs, that you can't really clear out that angle after someone's gotten that singular kill. He managed to find another person who's not looking towards him, and Alex basically has himself quite a few players just looking away from him, making sure that they have nothing to do with Alex, but Alex has everything to do with them. Virtus Pro, though, money a little bit more in disarray. Snatchy and me, who were pretty stacked themselves, but that will just be materializing in the form of a few deagles. Whether or not they can do some substantial damage is yet to be seen, because, well, so far, let's put it as it is. It's 1 to 5. VP haven't really been doing very much damage.
Well, at least going into the next round, should have a full bite, and with the AWP as well. So that'll be the more important factor for this side. One round was more based off of that. Apex looking to pad his stats a little bit, and we'll be doing just that. Ooh. 3 simple kills, and it's only going to be... So we're actually close up. Or they're only going to be the one coming in for the T side. Much cleaner coming out from Vitality, and some money being built up to go into the next round. But here we go. The purchase that really needs to come through for VP, otherwise we could be seeing a hugely dominating half out from Vitality. They do have pretty much everything they'd like. A few Molotovs missing, though, which we'll see if that plays much of a factor. Well.
I mean, this is still, honestly, it's a very problematic buy when you consider how they've consistently been losing out to a couple of players because of lack of utility. The lack of flashes could be hugely impactful. We saw what happened earlier towards the B site with Alex going crazy with the UMP. Whether or not they can replicate that on Vitality's side will depend on how Virtus Pro use these few smokes that they do, of course, have. Now, Apex, he's been blocked off this time around, so maybe that boost from Snacks could do something. Bialy's already gone down, and that's not a great sign of things to come, because they probably realize where the bomb is headed. Right now, though, the bomb's sitting very comfortably inside the spawn. It's not really headed anywhere, but Twow's singular kill towards A site might be changing that. Snacks finds one as well, but Alex coming in from behind has got that AWP to really step things up. Zaiwu as well, setting up the crossfire, and these two are going to town. Both the offs are the only ones left alive versus 2 of VP. AK's generally what you want to have in a clutch situation, but right now, what you want to have in a clutch situation is what Vitality has, and that is Zaiwu on that A site. Unfortunately, though, Alex could be the man on who all the pressure is. There's no utility on Virtus Pro, so they have to take these angles dry, and well,
oh, no.
Dry is not going to work against Alex. Snacks left alone now. He himself has got an AWP to work with as well, hoping that Alex reveals himself, but the bomb is down, and now Zaiwu is making his way over. Alex is pushed through. Alex, oh no, you didn't see him. Alex, you really need... Okay.
I'm more confused by Snacks. Like, I can understand Alex, the way they walk past each other, but like Alex threw a pop flash towards short and then just walked in that direction. I guess maybe Snacks was a little bit wary of his behind, but that was just ridiculous. I don't know how that happened. Alex also hitting a perfect timing on both of those kills. He jumps up, catches Mihu, and then manages to walk past Snacks and find the other from behind. So a little bit of luck can go a long way, and because of that, well, VP's money absolutely screwed once again, and going into the future rounds, an AWP even seems unlikely. And well, Snacks, he's going to be dunked out of this round before he even spots a CT player.
Hate to see that. Hate to see that. You know when those two grenades are just heading to you, you've got that few seconds of, oh shit. At least when NBK gets that kill, it's instantaneous. That's a bullet to the head, that's a few to the body to the rest of them, that's okay. But with the grenades, you can see them coming. You've got that impending sense of doom. You want to run away, but you just can't do it.
Well, 8-1. Tees have themselves a purchase. As said, AWP not going to be in this round, and maybe see a little bit of a faster play coming out from Virtus.pro. I do feel like the B site may actually be the place they want to be going, because although it has been shut down a couple of times, I feel like it's more been a few mistakes coming out from VP rather than absolutely dominant play coming out from Vitality, especially when you talk about the round that had like a pistol and a UMP, and obviously the timing from Alex in the last one, which was a little bit lucky to say the least. But VP instead, they're going to focus a little bit more on middle control. Got to be wary of the aggression of MBK. He catches out Bialy, and there's still players around this middle and short area. You can see Zywa wanting to face and finds the pick. Very aggressive. Has to be careful though, because Snacks is ready and waiting for a trade. But the problem is, no matter where VP go here, there's going to be a player ready and waiting. RPK holding off onto short. Now he's very low on HP. Wary about the push coming in from Apps, but there isn't one. He's actually got to be a little bit more careful of the player on short, but Snatchy doesn't expect the tank. And MBK can close. Another fairly clean round coming out from Team Vitality. And finally, we now see a pause on the board, likely for Virtus.pro, unless it's more of a courtesy one for Vitality. So, look, guys, I think you need a pause.
I really enjoyed when Apex just peeks down from mid and decides not to scope in with the AUG whatsoever. He's like, you know what, I don't care if this has a scope. I'm going to take the incredibly long-range duel without zooming in, and I'm going to win it anyway. That's asserting dominance right there. Apex, more power to you. Just try to make sure you're doing that on the entries as well. And I mean, props where they're due. He's looking good on the scoreboard so far. He's got 11 kills, and sure, a few of them have been against eco rounds, but compared to the previous map, where Apex was definitely a bit of a sore thumb for the Vitality side, this is looking considerably better. Bialy trying to take some control of mid. Just making sure that Vitality can't be too secure in their positioning towards B. Now, RPK, he's managed to get that one nade onto 12 pretty frequently, and 12, well, he's sick of it. He backs off. He decides that he doesn't want anything to do with it and wants to go watch the flank instead. Vitality will be facing off against what looks like a fast B play, but still with enough time left on the clock for Virtus.pro to decide against it and to decide on something a little bit more safe. Zywu is here as well. Full utility on him. He's got a grenade, a Molotov, and a smoke. So basically everything you could need. He himself is a roadblock as well, when you keep in mind his firepower. He's got only one though, and he could have been taken down, but they missed their opportunity and they missed their shots, leaving Snacks alone as Zywu and RPK are able to dice them and slice them. And well, Snacks, he's not going to be any different.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing for Virtus.pro at the moment. This has been a slaughter on the last few rounds, and that really reflects in the economy built up by Team Vitality. Almost 10,000. So we're a little bit further behind, but obviously he's the one purchasing up the AWP. And well, we're now going to finally see one once again. Bear in mind, Snatchy, I think the first round they managed to win, which was 5-1. He got 3 kills. Since then, well, he actually was 4-4. He's had 1 kill since, which I think definitely needs to change. As I said, he was sort of the man I look to highlight. Also, Mihu used to be very good on Mirage. One of my favorite players to watch on this map because of how aggressive he played. At the moment, it hasn't been going too well, but there we go. Snatchy once again wins that opening battle versus Zywu, a man that, well, has been highlighted a million times. We'll see if they can continue this forward. Mihu as well. There we go. You just had to call them out. That's all that was needed.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure Reddit's been doing that for a long time. Apex, though, well, we called him out and he stepped up. RPK and Alex as well, able to get a few of their own. Very fast-paced play from Virtus.pro, but equally quickly executed by Apex, and maybe calling them out doesn't work all that well.
It's more of a just like throwing away situation there. I don't really know how VP managed to lose a round after finding both of the opening picks. It's just questionable to say the least, but obviously props have to go to Vitality. Every single player at the moment is having their moments, stepping up, and again, there's not a player we can mention that's not having a fantastic game over on the French side. And for the Poles, the polar opposite could pretty much be said. There is no standout player at the moment. Here we go, though. Quick push. Alex is going to get his third death on the board. It's left onto RPK, and he's going to get himself a couple, at least giving them some hope in terms of this retake. And, well, considering Weaponry now picked up for VP, definitely the best chance they've had. Apex maybe a little bit too overzealous as he looks to jump in alone. Well, will they both make the jump? No, they won't. It's only MBK making it up nice and fast. Snatchy going to go for the peek, but actually, well, MBK somewhat makes it past the angle. Snatchy now peeks in. Trade going to be available for Zaiwu, and I bet he wants to go for this. Money's in a great situation. It's more so whether he wants to hand them an AWP. Push from him back towards the site. Not much time on the clock. He'll find the kill anyway, but he doesn't know the man's in the corner. This should be impossible, and it will be.
By the way, I'm not letting you get away with that. The poles are the polar opposite. I'm sorry, it's just that's too much, Tom. We've got to have a talk about this. You're going.
Well, the fact is, they're probably feeling a little bit less polar at the moment because the bear's gone from their picture.
Tom, we talked about this last time. The OT time. We had this conversation, Tom, and right now Mihu wants to have a conversation, but he doesn't have a head to have a conversation with because NBK has taken it clean off early into the round.
It can use sign language.
God damn it. I'm trying to transition these things, Tom. Tom, this is why you only get invited to do the minors.
Yeah. What, are you on the major then?
Tom, that's what you told me at least on Twitter.
Snack's aggressive peek out is not going to achieve anything, and it looks like his teammate's about to make a similar play, and the result is the same.
What's that saying? Fool me once, shame on you?
I thought he was going for anything you can do, I can do better, but clearly the case was not. And yeah, Snatchy manages one with that ult, finding a few picks along the way, but not anything to really write home about. And well, 12-2. Scoreline pretty much reflects that. It's not going to be a fantastic buy. Snatchy will be able to purchase up a singular AK, and it doesn't look like the T's have anything else behind them either. So, yeah. And a double AWP setup over on that CT side once again. Alex probably going to go for a peek, maybe in towards short. But actually, early on, he's just waiting to see if there's any sort of aggressive push out from the T side.
Virtus.pro have got themselves a prayer. And from what I understand, a pretty big paycheck to back it up. Unfortunately for them, neither of those things seem to be working out so far. Mihu wants to smoke off mid, get some control, while the bomb is posturing itself towards that A site, as they will try and collapse it quickly. Now, NBK has been very good over there so far, but this time he's a little bit more defensive. Smokes are coming through to prevent him from being able to snipe down those heads, where he's been so good with the M4A1. One of the few players who still use that old dinosaur of a gun, and right now trying to spray through the smoke, unsuccessful. He will back off. Now he does have teammates, and those teammates themselves are pretty damn good. Zaiwu pushing through with the CZ. He's already got one, but he wants two, and that's there, done, and gone. Dusted, not yet though. Mihu from the side will be able to trade away. 3 versus 3, VP in a bad situation, though, as Alex will be coming through with a deagle. It seems like these pistols are all the Frenchmen need, and Alex decides that maybe it's time to stop BMing a little bit and does switch out for the AWP. NBK finishing things off.
Yeah, utterly dominant from Vitality. It was sort of a few rounds, or a couple, I should say, not even a few, thrown in for Virtus.pro, one of them solely off the back of the AWP from Snatchy. And other than that, I think there was one other round, which was, again, Snacks managing a triple. Not really seen anything to be impressed by so far by Virtus.pro. And well, Vitality, they are a team on the rise. through to the major qualifier. I think exciting a lot of people at the moment, especially with the young talent of Zaiwu. And I'm glad the questions were finally sort of answered with him, like where he was going to go, what was going to happen. And I think if there's any team right now that will sort of grow him into being a decent player, or a world beater even, it's going to be a team that has someone like MPK on it, because the man is not only calm as hell, but he also has huge amounts of experience. So far so good. Vitality 13-2 up, and they win the pistol. They pretty much win the game.
Hey. I don't want that negativity in this console, right? If Vitality win the pistol... Okay, never mind. They probably still win the game. Fine.
I'm glad we talked this through.
Well, okay, fine. You can have this one, Tom. But right now, Vitality want to have this. As they're rushing over towards the B site, full Kevlar up, and Nihu, well, he doesn't care about that Kevlar because NBK has brought him down. And when you're dead, it's hard to care. NBK and Alex keep moving through. Zaiwu from the side makes it 3 and wants more. Well, that's not a fun way to start things off for VP.
Yeah, it's now one of those sort of horrible situations where you pretty much have to save here, or just go for like 2 awful force buys. And even then, it's sort of like you wouldn't blame them if they did purchase into this round, because you're so far down that by taking an eco here, you're going, yeah, 13 rounds in a row. It's not so bad. Like, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation to be in. So, yeah, they are going to take the eco. They're going to take the chance to at least get a purchase. It won't have an AWP unless they somehow manage to win this round, and even then it probably won't have an AWP. So it's it's a tough spot to be in, but we'll see if they can do anything in terms of damage in this round. For any sort of aggression, making sure they clear all the angles. They don't want to take any risks here, and I can respect that considering the scoreline. Like, you would almost expect them to just be like, we've won the game, let's just go running in and try and take these fights. But they're not. Slowly taking middle control, having a player in underpass, clear all the angles, still a man waiting over towards ramp. It's methodical from them. At the same time, they've been pushed, and Apex has been overwhelmed, so it may have been methodical, but the fact is the CT still caught them off guard. RPK will at least manage to bring it back into a 2 versus 2, make that a 2v1, and, well, he kills them all. Never mind.
Nice way to end things off. Well, he kills them all. Pretty much summarizes it nicely. VP, like you said, they're in a tight spot. They're in a rough place right now, but one can only hope that their team starts to pick things up. 15-2. And I mean, honestly, here's the thing about VP so far in MDL. In a couple of games that we've seen them, they have done decently, but Vitality is really showing themselves to be a slightly different caliber, which is good to see heading over to closer to the major. And now RPK moves through. There's a few flashes to cut him off, but Nihu, who peeked out from the smoke, will be taken down at the end of the day. 4 versus 4, Virtus Pro's aggression does net them that 1 kill, but the worth of that kill is yet to be seen.
Already. MBK picking up another, and the CT side just trying to re-aggress, trying to get these trades to keep themselves in this round and in this match. Already they've spotted out one of the remaining players and looking to try and double back in towards B. The fact is, though, Snatchy has managed to rotate in, but loses the battle, and that's probably the map put to bed. It's going to be all left on to be Ali, a 1 versus 4, and, well, he's going to have to do something ridiculous, and instead MBK, it just absolutely ruins him. Destruction of Virtus Pro, and that's 2 Polish teams to fall to the French for today. And yeah, well, bring on the next match. That's what I can really say.
I mean, it's going to be coming on soon. Vitality, they look dominant in the first game. They look fantastic in the second game. And questions have to be asked about VP's trajectory, considering the fact that basically only one person, if I remember correctly, put up numbers above the double-digit mark. Not looking good for them, to be honest. But you did see a few glimmers of life here and there. You did see some nice little aim duels, and you never really know. Now, next up, of course, we've got ourselves the Izako Boars themselves, and they're going to be the game. They're going to be the team to watch out for. Of course, there's a few minutes until that next match will actually be coming through, and that's why make sure that you go out there, get yourself some tea, get yourself some water, get yourself a nice little beverage, get yourself a break from Tombiz, And that's what I'm going to look to do as well right now. And we'll be back with the next game. That'll be Izako Boars versus Vitality. See you soon.
Lose ourselves in the spirit of we lose ourselves.
Here. Today I want to talk about retaking the A. A lot of teams struggle with when I watch them in the lower zone. To kick it off, that's how you would probably retake the A bomb site, is by playing long A bomb site. It used to, the way this new Dust 2 works, if you have good spawns, you can act and hide before a T opper ever rushes to PQ. So but you can kind of control long a little bit easier. Alternatively, what you could do, so you're up to like the wheel of the car, like in the corner of this building, just literally, it's really easy. Smoke will go into the doors like that, and then simply flash over this wall. And if anyone comes out, so say a team is happening to rush long A, which you would know because potentially a smoke at the corner, you would follow it up with that flash, and then your second teammate would be at this wall, and all he needs to do is throw a hard molly off of there, lead over towards the blue container. Your he can then swing, and you guys would both be able to fight all of long A. Not many places they could hide at that point. If you wanted to, you could follow it up with a second flash. A lot of CT-sided grenades, you know, opping time. If he's rail, then he's car, whichever angle he'd prefer, you know, or even close to the wall. And basically he would take a shot, and then once they get over here, he may take another shot, and then he falls all the way back to long, right? And you would want your AWP player to hold the site from long A, and you as the long A player would end up holding the doors, right? So at the start of the round, you know, like maybe your second player smokes the door, you are the long A player, so you can either re-smoke the door or up to save your smoke. And I'll go over a cool thing you can do with your smoke if you save it. So you end up basically clearing long A doors. Be really careful, because when teams do cat executes, there's typically a player lurking the long A. So I wouldn't really necessarily walk into here. That's like a death trap. But just be aware that once you retake, you let your AWP player, you know, you may remind him, you know, in your protocols to end up holding long once you ignore it. Once you guys get the mid and the B players, right? So the mid are from mid and B, and they should go through CT spawn. I'll tell you why in a second. you could fall to here, and this is what I was saying you could do to your smoke. So you basically get in this corner, you crouch, and this line, you basically go right here while crouching, and then you stand, okay? And then you just throw, okay? And you have to do, you'll learn how to do this relatively quick, but the smoke blocks off cat. Again, this is completely optional, but a cool thing you can do with your smoke. End up smoking cat off. But you do have to be careful of that. So the second you throw that, you probably want to re-clear this. Wait here. Again, your AWP player is probably like holding something like this to the site. And once you're ready to retake, this is where your mid and your B players are coming up through spawn like this. Okay, so they're looking probably for a mid lurk right here. And also aware that this is the only spot that can kill them right now, okay? And probably actually the only spot that can kill them at all for the entire round. So be aware of this, and potentially a guy dropping spawn earlier in the round, because if you're playing retake, you wouldn't know that. As you guys come up long, the main component of this is you and potentially the third guy playing A, if you did have a two long A setup early round, are going to be on this wall, okay? And your opper is going to be holding the site. And once you're ready to cross, as well as the spawn guys come up through spawn, and this is the most important thing in the whole entire thing. So once your spawn guys are ready to come up and fight, holding this, you want your opper, if he wants to flash this way, he can for this first flash. I would highly suggest not doing that because it's going to blind your spawn guys. It's really easy to just flash though up over here, and then you want to follow it up with a second flash again to the right. And the reason why you want to flash to the right is because flashes are blowing up behind you and all of the fights are then in front of you, right? And there's nowhere for a T to really play without getting blind. So if they're up on this wall, your spawn players are coming up with those flashes behind them. You're coming up with the flashes behind you, and anyone on this wall is dead. That's why I was saying the only place that can get kills by doing something like this without getting traded out is potentially a guy while you're on this wall waiting, peeking into spawn like this. Okay, so this is the one thing that your CD spawn players need to be really, really aware of when you retake their bomb site. It's just this player swiveling back and forth right here. Obviously, once you come up, it becomes an easy trade for you. But you wait on this wall, that first flash pops. The upper quad can't even see you if you cross close, so keep that in mind. If you cross far, stay close to the wall. Flash pop. For the first flash to pop, swing out. You can molly the brick through the site right here, and you can use that molly to actually clear behind quad. Okay, so again, everything is very easy in front of you. After the opera throws the flash for you, he just runs up, and then at this point, you know, he can post quad as you run up over, and he ends up holding cat. You may even want to have an M-bomb. You could even stick the bomb at that point. But you can see how everything is super easy if you just take your time. And the main point is to use flashes behind you as you run up and the pathing along the wall. Those two things combined are going to help you win, you know, 90% of your A retakes. And this is why it's so difficult for teams to hold the A bomb site. Now, the third thing that's also really important, through mid and like advantageous fights. That's why when you typically see a lot of top level teams retake the A bomb site, the mid and B players might come over towards mid, throw a flash over just in case there's a lurk, and then you cross, kind of wait for a guy to come out mid potentially, and you retake through spawn. You might want to have one player go very, very late cat, but it's not those and like meeting you guys in the bomb site where, you know, they have, so this guy ends up coming dead last. Like he's 2-on-2 that you say you are the guy in the A site. Once you're in the A site and the other team knows you're in the site, he will then flank cat at that point and get the guy's cat, and you guys will probably win the round with like 7 seconds left on the bomb timer. So just an alternate way to go about the round. But yeah, as you can see, guys, it's really simple. Just keep everything in front of you. Use flashes towards Game Helper. Use potentially the smoke or a molly towards cat to eliminate that position as you run up. And then if your teammates happen to have, you know, molly and spawn, you could just molly quad. It's not that difficult. But again, you can see that it's actually not even necessary to molly quad. But anyway, guys, I hope this helps out. And yeah, have fun retaking the A bomb site. Peace.
Go feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
regularities, living all the dreams, playing all the games, and getting high on love. They can chase us down, but we will always win. Leading every dance, feeling every touch, and getting high in love. We're invincible. Trust in me. We're invincible. Don't you see? We're invincible. We're invincible. We're invincible. keeping you in the right direction. No matter how your confidence may fall, I'll be here as your foundation. And I say, hey, yo, just let it go. Your struggles won't remain. And I say, hey, yo, we're holding hope and wake up yesterday. So hold on to me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me.
Gave you too much, now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do. And if